if this was my own house, what would I do? And I think that's what people want. It really boils down to some simple things. Besides, you have to know what you're doing.
I think he's super experienced. He's done a lot of great projects, so he's got a great history in house buildings. And to me, with his name comes quality.
We've built a lot of houses and we understand value.
A lot of guys say, oh yeah, we do it right. But I mean, what's that mean? There is actually a right way to do it, and there's actually a way to measure if it's done right. And we measure it.
Once I met Phil and was introduced to the Chatsworth team, there was no doubt in my mind that this was going to be a really good collaboration.
Having someone on top of it and letting you know what your options are and where you should maybe spend some money over here or over there to make something that much better, and the detail in the work and what the longevity of that is.
Value for the amount of money we were spending, always reminding me that we were working within our budget that we established at the beginning, that it was important to follow your gut on a lot of decisions, but his guidance was really important to me.
What's most gratifying to me is, 5 years down the road, a client coming and saying, I'm glad you told me to do that because I love it. And I can really see why you persuaded me to do it.
Everything is built to be measured around each of the features. None of it was sort of put up on the fly. Everything was measured exactly.
Well, people use the devil is in the details. No, God is in the details. You cannot build a great custom home without obsessing almost over the details.
First time I met Phil, it really stood out. How prepared he was. The level of detail that he brought forward was different from all the others.
Daniel is an up-and-comer. He's definitely got the youth on his side and that energy that he brings to the team and the project. He's well respected on site.
And a lot of that comes from just a lifetime of building. I mean, I'm coming up on 30 in a week, but I've been on site and exposed to this stuff and this type of building since I was as young as 12. Paul is one of the most impressive versions of a very self-made kind of guy. Tons of really just stick-to-itiveness and dedication. I look up to Paul a lot.
Paul's a quiet guy, and in his quietness you learn to understand he's extremely confident, he's good at what he does. Anybody would be lucky to have Paul on their project site.
The high performance aspect of building is very important for Chatsworth.
He seems to be able to take what you want and run with it. And I think the end result is just a quality build.
How's this gonna go? On time and on budget, which is hard to imagine when you're building a big home. Transparency, what it costs, where the money's going, what's needed. Phil is an open book.
He wasn't afraid to tell me the truth and give me options. And it was the best decision I ever made.
They're very open, they're very task-oriented. What impressed me the most is that Chatsworth, led by Phil, really had a true confidence coming onto this project.
Everything from start to finish is just absolutely seamless. Everybody that came to that house was so professional.
Probably the thing I'm most proud of is what's next.
Net Zero is a program that's on now that essentially the building code is focused on being net zero by 2030. This isn't just something that we've done lately. This has been something that's been in the ethos of the company for a long time. What we like about it is it's been adopted by the Canadian Home Builders Association. We really emphasize a very systematic approach to having a great result in a home.
Building at Chatsworth, it's a labor of love, it's a passionate process.
This house will last, another 100 years standing as it is now. We're a keeper of time and we will pass this house on to the next person. We actually used to just joke around here that we would just say, well, what would Phil do? It's not always the most expensive thing. It's usually, some kind of combination of the most practical and the most value for your money.
We've been in the house for a number of years. You get to really experience the different features and the quality aspects of how it was put together.
I always felt with Chatsworth in general, it was not just the friendliness, it was the fact that they made you feel like you were one of the most important clients to them. And I've never forgotten that.
I think when you put craft first and business second is when business kind of sorts itself out when you're focusing on the craft. And I think that's a defining feature of the company.